Hi everyone, my name is Willow and welcome to my first art YouTube video. If you're new here, don't worry, so am I. Today I'm going to be inking this Magenta girl portrait. I drew this using reference from Pinterest and I will leave a link in the description to all my references in case you want to check them out for yourself. Before we jump into the illustration, I want to share a bit about my supplies. I'm using the Dr. P.H. Martin's India ink, and my plan is to keep this all one color. I'm actually working my way through all the colors, doing a portrait with each one, so hopefully I will have a whole rainbow of faces to share with you soon. Next, I'm using a dip pen. It is just an inexpensive speedball holder with a Browse steno nib. I've only tried a few nibs, but this has quickly become my favorite. I've also got a small paintbrush. This is just a Princeton Select number 2, which should work for this entire piece since it's a pretty small sketch. As for the paper, this is a handmade watercolor sketchbook I got from Small Oak Studios. I will leave a link to their Etsy shop in the description. I love the paper in these books, but they don't really lay flat, unfortunately, so you can see I have a binder clip helping hold down the page. Of course, I've also got a glass of water, a palette for watering down my ink, a paper towel, and my trusty kneaded eraser for lightening my sketch. I'm just gonna roll that over the page and kind of dab it all over just to lift some of the graphite. That way I can still see my sketch, but the pencil lines won't show through after I've added the ink. I picked this drawing for my first video because it felt pretty low pressure. I've done a few of these single color portraits already, and not having to decide where the colors should go or what colors to use really simplifies the process and challenges me to focus on the values, the light and dark areas of the image. Drawing on camera was somehow way harder than drawing not on camera. My hands were shaking so bad, and typically when I use a dip pen, I turn the page this way and that to get the right angle. And I really tried not to do that with this piece because I knew it would look jumpy and kind of hard to watch. I'm still teaching myself editing, so I think I'll speed things up here. Let me know what you think of this time-lapse style, or if you'd prefer to see a more real-time type of video. Alright, this line that I drew for this eye, I was so shaky, and the whole time I was thinking, don't screw this up, don't screw this up, and of course I screwed it up. But I convinced myself it was all gonna be okay, and you know what? Once I added all the shading, you can hardly even tell. Sometimes that's just the way things go. There are so many mistakes and wobbly lines and ugly phases in my drawing process. But it's better to go through those things and see what the end result is like, because if you just give up or start over, then you never learn how to fix it or find out that it wasn't so bad after all. So since this is my first video, I should probably tell you a little bit about myself and why I started this channel. I've been making art basically as long as I can remember. I have this memory of when I was a really little kid, my mom got this giant roll of paper. I mean, this thing must have been 30 feet long. And when we had friends over, we would unroll a big section of it down the hallway and we'd all lie on the floor with our crayons and Crayola markers and just draw. You know how kids can just be creative and there's just no limits, no expectations about how things need to turn out. Then as I got older, I became more of a perfectionist, and my art went from being a time to play and have fun to a strict exercise in getting an idea from my head onto the paper. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I still do that with most of my pieces. But I had lost the ability to play and be loose with my art because I became so invested in the finished product. In the past few years, I've really started to come to terms with how that mindset has impacted my creativity, and I've worked to create a little more balance in my approach. If I make a super finished, polished piece, I give myself the opportunity to play and be loose and not worry about the results. And keeping things in balance means that I'm always learning and growing and not just stagnating while I try to make perfect art. And I can honestly say I wouldn't have had as much personal growth in this area if it weren't for all the other art YouTubers who have inspired and influenced me over the past 10 years or so. Artists like Mary Doodles, Drawing with Waffles, Jane Beata, just to name a few. Their videos have been a huge inspiration to me over the years and helped me overcome so many roadblocks in my own art journey. I think perfectionism is something a lot of artists struggle with, along with burnout, self-doubt, and other challenges. I want to talk about all those things in my videos, how I deal with those challenges, what has helped me, and how my art has changed as a result. I want to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and take you on this journey with me as I practice and improve my own art skills. And if one of my videos can inspire you to create something, or work through the ugly phase of a painting, or quiet that voice of perfectionism or self-doubt, then I will consider this channel a success. There have been times, especially over the past couple years of this pandemic, when videos from my favorite art YouTubers have felt like the only thing I had to look forward to. And even though I don't know any of these creators in person, they have felt like friends through hard times. And there's just something inside me that wants to put something good into the world like they do. And I know that making it as a quote-unquote successful creator on YouTube is an unrealistic goal, so that's not where my focus is with this channel. There's just something inside me that feels the need to create and share it and see what comes of it. No matter how big or small this channel becomes, I just want to share my process with you and join in with the art community here on YouTube that has been such a big part of my life over the past decade. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. What kind of art do you make? What struggles do you face with it? Do you ever have to work through perfectionism or burnout as an artist? If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe and leave your suggestions below. Even though there were a lot of wobbly lines early on, I am really happy with how this illustration turned out. For me, a piece of art is successful if I learn from the process. I certainly don't love every piece that I make, but enjoying the outcome is just like the cherry on top. Let me know what you think of this piece. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!